In this video, I'm going to show various ways to start an OmniView client. OmniView is a server client program. It runs on the computer inside the cabinet of a Nero analyzer. To use OmniView, you start a client and interact with the analyzer using that client. Here I have a remote desktop to the OmniView server, which is here in my office. To run a client on the server host, you go down to the Windows Start button, click All Programs, find Guided Wave, OmniView, and Start Client. You can see that the client has started. Okay. Let's go take a look at what the other shortcuts are on the server. Shortcut here to restart the Nero controller program. You have a button here to stop the OmniView server and start the OmniView server. All right. Now we're back on my desktop computer, and let's say I want to run a client here, which is really the better way to run OmniView. If you run a client on the server machine itself, it takes up quite a bit of resources and can potentially make things run a little slower. But and I understand in some situations where the analyzer is installed in a place where it's not on the network, then that's your only choice. When possible, run your clients on computers outside of the analyzer. One way to communicate with the server is through a browser. So I'm using Chrome. You could use any browser that you like, Firefox, Internet Explorer. You need to know the IP address of the Nero analyzer. This part is the IP address, then a colon followed by a port number 8080. If you go there, we display a small web page which provides a link. This image here and this click here. This is these are links to download a JNLP file, which is a Java file for starting network launched applications. To run a JNLP file, you do need to have 64-bit Java. If you click on this link, we download an installation file from our server and just install in the standard location. Don't change the location. Okay, Java has installed. Now that we've done that, you should be able to click on this image here. The Chrome browser that I'm using wants to know if I really want to keep this file. So I say keep, and then click it once more to run it. It's just giving the standard warning, do I really want to run this thing over the internet? And I do. I accept the risk. I believe you only have to answer that question one time. And there, we have a client running on our local host, which is being served by the OmniView server in the analyzer computer. Okay, that's one way to start a client. Another way would be to create some shortcuts on your computer that you could then use without having to go through a browser. We provide a way to do that here. If you'd like to install permanent shortcuts on your client host, click here, and we download a little HTML application. We send it to you zipped, so you have to extract it. It's done that. Now I drill down into that folder and find create-shortcuts.hta. Right-click it and click Run as Administrator. It brings up this small form. All you need to do is fill in the IP address of the server. Don't need to provide the port this time though. Click this button. You can change the name here if you wish, and then select where you want these shortcuts to appear on your computer. On the desktop, under the Windows Start menu, or on your taskbar, which is down here. And I'm going to go ahead and create shortcuts in all three of those locations. There, you can see shortcut here, and if you go into here, navigate down to guided wave, there's a shortcut there. You can create all three or only one, it's up to you. And again, you see the client starting. So those shortcuts are now always available, so I don't have to go through the website anymore. Now, this is what we have provided on newer versions of OmniView coming out of the factory. Some of you have versions of the software where we did not provide the small website for you to do this. So for those of you, you can still start a client by, again, running a browser and going to, this time, instead of 8080, we're going to go to 8088, which is the URL of the Ignition gateway page. OmniView is written with Ignition. Ignition is a widely used software platform out there, and it provides the following website. There's a lot of things that they have on their web page here that we do not recommend you use, but you can start a client by finding OmniView here and clicking the launch button. And there again, you see the client starting. Those are the various methods for starting an OmniView client, both on the server machine inside the cabinet and on a remote computer connected on the same network. I failed to show you in that video what to do if you run into a Java security issue. Let's use my shortcut here I have on the taskbar to try to start OmniView. And you can see here I get a message from Java saying the application's been blocked. This will most likely happen to you, but it is fixable. So close that window. What you have to do is you have to run the Java configuration program, which can be found a couple different ways. I think it's on the control panel. I think it shows up there under Java. When you bring that up, go to the Security tab. And what we need to do, make sure that this is set to high, not very high. Also, we need to add an entry into the exceptions site list here. So to do that, click Edit Site List. We're trying to run a client from the server on 163, which is not currently in our list. So I'm going to click the Add button and put the focus in here and type http:// then the address, then a colon, and then the 8088 port that the OmniView Ignition web server uses. And then click Add again. It warns me that it's not HTTPS. It likes HTTPS, not HTTP, but the Ignition web server is not HTTPS, so this is the only choice we have. So go ahead and accept that, and now it is in our list. Okay, so now click OK, control panel, then let's try running our client again, and there it goes. Okay, so this shows what to do if you run into a Java security issue when trying to start a client.